The first application we're going to take a look at is Gemini by Google. Now, Gemini is very similar to some of the other artificial intelligence that you may be familiar with, for example, ChatGPT. So, in its simplest form, you can navigate to this application, you can enter a prompt, and then be able to receive the response. So, for example, I might want to use this for brainstorming purposes. So I might create a prompt that looks something like this. Create a tech-infused lesson for 5th grade students related to The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And it's going to generate a response. As you can see, Gemini has given me the learning objective, it's given me the materials that my students are going to need, and then it lines out the lesson activities. It includes an explanation of how you as the educator would be able to introduce the lesson using this particular book. It gives you descriptions of some of the things you might use using Google Maps and YouTube in order to find a virtual tour of Narnia to inspire your students of some of those locations that they would read about in the book. Character exploration, where the students are going to choose a small group and then choose a character and create a presentation about their character based on their motivations, relationships, personalities. You can see all the different suggestions that Gemini has given for a tech-infused lesson on this topic. That is one of the great ways to utilize artificial intelligence, brainstorming these unique ideas and these unique learning experiences for your students. And you can take it one step further. You might say, give specific links related to this topic. So I added more to my prompt. Add specific URLs for technology resources for this lesson. So now you can see it's added specific links that would correlate with some of the suggestions that it offered for those tech-infused lessons. For example, making digital comic strips was one of those suggestions to really enhance comprehension for this particular novel. And so here it's going to give you the links where students could actually create those digital comic strips. Now, I'm going to click on New Chat, and what that's going to do is it's going to save all of those specific chats over in my navigation bar. That way I can always refer back to them, I can copy and paste them, I can share them out later. I want to show you one other feature. You can click on the plus sign. For example, I pull in this PDF that is a short reading passage for my students, but maybe I need this to be translated into Spanish. I'll simply ask my chatbot to translate this in Spanish. And as you can see, in a few seconds, it has translated this entire passage into Spanish. So maybe I need to do something different with this prompt. If I don't need to keep my translation, I'd simply edit my prompt. And this time I'm going to ask it to summarize this file for a 2nd grade reading level, because maybe I need to differentiate the reading level for my students. So Gemini created a quick summary in a 2nd grade reading level, but maybe I need more than a summary. Maybe I really need it to actually rewrite the entire file for a 2nd grade reading level. So I'm going to change my prompt one more time. Now my prompt, it is much more reader friendly for a 2nd grade reading level. So you can see how Gemini can be utilized so quickly and so easily to kind of streamline some of those processes that will best benefit you and your students. At the bottom of each response, you'll notice that you can pull this information into another platform. So for example, if you click the share option, you can export these responses straight to a Google Doc, or you can draft into a Gmail. You can also simply click the snowman and just copy the text, and you'll be able to put that into any application that you need to paste it into. Notice if you export to Google Docs, you can then easily download that as a PDF. Once my document's created, I'm simply going to click Open Docs, click File, Download, and PDF. One of the other great things about Gemini is that you can create gems. And a gem is simply a personal chatbot. So let me give you an example. When I select a new gem, I'm going to give my gem a name. So I'm going to title my chatbot 5th Grade Chatbot Educator. That will remind me that this particular chatbot is designed to support me as a 5th grade teacher. So I'm going to give my chatbot some instructions. So my instructions for this chatbot are: you are a 5th grade English teacher with in-depth knowledge of novels by C.S. Lewis. Now I can add additional files for my chatbot to reference. Now, if you don't have any additional files, that's completely all right. But the more information that you give your chatbot to reference, the more information that will be catered to the responses that are generated. So now I'm ready to save my chatbot. Now that my chatbot has been created, I now have a point of reference where I can get new and engaging ideas on this specific topic. So I might ask my chatbot, what is the best way for students to determine themes from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? So now the response that was generated can help assist in those conversations with this particular topic on theme. The next application we're going to take a look at is quizzes. So quizzes.com, once you're signed in, typically most teachers navigate straight to the Explore option first. Now, keep in mind there are all kinds of quizzes that are already pre-built, full on assessments, lessons, interactive videos, flashcards, and even reading passages with comprehensive questions. Now, we want to focus on the AI portion. You've already taken a look at the AI extension, but let me take you a bit deeper. Under Quizzes AI, you have a lot of things that this particular application can do for you. For example, you can extract questions from a practice page or a question bank. So let's say you have a PDF or a Google file or a Microsoft file that you want to upload in order to extract the questions and then have a quiz built for that. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to import a file. I'm going to pull in my PDF. And I'm going to tell it how many questions I need, my subject and grade level. Now this may look very similar to the output from the quizzes extension. That's because the extension leads you back to the actual application. And so at this point, you've got your quiz generated for you. You can come in and make choices. For example, if you would like to edit this question and maybe you want to change the question type to a drag and drop, you can definitely do that. And then you'll be able to edit each of the question options as well as the actual question itself if needed. Notice you can add in different media. So for example, if you wanted an image associated with this question or maybe even video content associated with this question, you can pull those files in as well. And for those math teachers out there, just for reference, I want you to know that they do have math type insert equation options in the quizzes application. Notice you can change all different things. For example, if you feel like your students are only going to need, 30 seconds for this question, you can edit all of the question details within this space. So once you feel like you have it the way you need it, you're going to click Save Question. Again, go through, see if you want AI to convert this to a real world scenario, depending on what the topic is. You can replace questions with similar questions, and you can even add in questions. And so let's say you want to add in an additional question, but maybe you still need some support in what type of question. So I'm going to let AI generate a similar question and see if I agree with the question and if I like it. This question looks great. I think I'm going to keep this one. This one also looks great, but this one, I don't think I necessarily need that. So I'm going to discard that. And now I'm going to save my changes. And now AI has assisted in adding 2 additional questions into my quiz. Notice some of the other AI magic that is available. The translations, adding question explanations. All right, and when you're ready to use this quiz, you can preview it first and then publish so that you'll be ready to give this to your students. Let's back up and take another look at the quizzes AI features. What about straight from the web? Quizzes will allow you to actually upload an article or a website, and it will extract and create questions from those particular places. So for example, I'm going to click on website. So maybe my students have been studying animals in their class, and they've read an article recently on elephants, and there's some context involved. And so maybe I need them to have a quiz for comprehension. So I'm going to paste this website right here. I'm going to tell it how many questions I need and for my grade level. And I'm going to ask it to generate my quiz. And we're back on the same dashboard. We have our questions generated for us where we can edit, delete, change question types and point value. Again, I can preview it. I can make sure it's exactly what I want for my students, and then I'm ready to publish. So the next feature I want to show you is creating questions from a YouTube video. Now, there are some limitations with artificial intelligence and YouTube, and you can see that they are unable to generate assessments from the YouTube video using AI. However, you can still use this feature. So I'm going to paste my video, and I'm going to click to add questions manually. So maybe right here at 1 minute and 27 seconds, I need to add a question. So I'm simply going to select the type of question that I need, and I'm going to fill in the response. And I'm going to click Save. Now I can continue building this and add as many questions into this video as I want, and that way I'll be ready to give this directly to my students. So since we're focused on AI helping us, I want to back up and mention a couple of other tools. The toolkit is very robust in quizzes. So when you click on all the extra tools, you're going to be able to see all the different things that quizzes can help you do. Reading passage questions, math word problems, story-based problems, creating practice pages. The list continues. There are so many different ways that you can have AI assist you to really expedite the process in your planning and the way that you engage your students. So I encourage you to take a look at Quizzes AI and see how it can benefit you. The last AI tool that we're going to focus on is Brisk Teaching. Now you remember from our previous activity, this is an extension, so you have to navigate to the Chrome Web Store, which you can do by just searching in Google for Chrome Web Store, and then you're going to search the extension Brisk. Go ahead and click Add to Chrome, Add Extension, and then Brisk is going to begin living on all of your applications that it can be used on. Let me show you what I mean. Let's navigate back to YouTube. And once you've installed the extension and you've signed in, you'll notice that it lives at the bottom of your screen. So I'm going to click on my extension and I'm going to click Create. Now from this YouTube video, maybe I need a quiz. I need a Google form so that I can check for comprehension in a different and unique way. I'm going to select my grade level. I'm going to select my question type, and I'm going to select how many questions I need generated. And you can see it's going to create a quiz about this YouTube video. I'm going to click Next. I've got my Google form, and I'm going to Brisk it. And just like that, my Google form has been generated. I would definitely scroll through and determine if these questions are aligned with the types of things I need my students to be responding to. If I can see that I need to edit, I'm in my editor and I'm ready to edit right away. But notice Brisk is saying, do you want to do something else? Well, maybe at this point I need to add some multiple choice questions because I did all short answer. So I'm going to write more multiple choice questions for the quiz above. Maybe this time I only want 3 of those added. So now I'm going to Brisk it again. And now I have my 3 multiple choice questions added right here to my quiz. Now, at this point, if everything looks great and I've added my unique theme, I'm ready to give this form to my students. Now we want to see what Brisk can do on a simple Google file. I have my reading prompt, but I want to create a really unique lesson for my students with this text. So I'm going to click on my Brisk extension. I'm going to click Create. I could take a moment to create a presentation to go along with my reading prompt to introduce some of the important things that my students may need to have as far as background knowledge prior to reading this text. Creating a presentation is super easy. Now remember, if you're on the free version of Brisk, it is going to create that presentation without images, and you can go back in and add those images once your presentation is created. Determine what kind of background you want and then Brisk it. And there you have it, an instant presentation. So maybe you're new to your curriculum and you've got some information that you know is really great, but you need some support building a lesson. You can use Brisk to create a lesson plan. Give Brisk a specific type of lesson plan you would like to use, for example, a tech-infused lesson. So once you give it a prompt, select your grade level, possibly even the amount of time that you think that you would have for this particular lesson, and then Brisk it. Once it generates your lesson plan, Brisk is going to ask if you would like to do anything additional. Do you need to translate this? Do you want to make it shorter, longer, less details? All the things. Maybe even a worksheet. So at this point, maybe you want to take it one step further. Create the worksheets, activities, and exit ticket described in the lesson plan above. And I say, Brisket. And just like that, Brisk has added on a practice page and some activities based on the topic in this particular lesson plan. And you can see this is on Google. You can go in, you can edit it, personalize it, or make adjustments that would best fit your learning goals. But this is a great way to get started so that you don't have to build everything from scratch. Brisk is definitely the tool to use for efficiency. Now, we only touched the surface on Brisk teaching, but I hope that this at least gives you a starting place for you to see how AI can be super beneficial.